My brother needs to be off these streets and I can't find him. And that's bad for all of us.
Mom's with our investment.
Marvin, don't let it kill me.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mark Dark, and I'm back with another video. If you're new, if you love power, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave your theories, comments, everything down below. Now today, we're going to be talking about Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 3, Episode 9. This is the recap. Now I'm going to try my best to focus on all the key points in this episode. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. And as I told you guys last night, I felt like episode 9 was like a build-up episode for the season finale. They pretty much touched on each of these storylines once again. And your boy Malcolm Mays, who plays Lulu, he put on an excellent performance. He gave us the best of drunken Lulu. And as I asked you guys last night, what y'all think happened? Y'all think Lulu up out of here, or do y'all think he will survive? I mean, as I told you guys last night, I believe he could have went to rehab or whatever. They're making it seem like they did something very bad to him, but once we get to see episode 10, they should reveal everything. And, you know, a lot of people was kind of upset, like, man, they should have just showed us. And usually when they don't show you that a person is taken out, 9 times out of 10, that person is still here. So we're going to see what's next for your boy Lulu, and, you know, how everybody's going to deal with the aftermath of everything. But we also saw the end of your boy Gerald, and we knew his ending was going to come. We knew it was not going to end well. I told you guys I'm glad that Marvin did not have to actually put his hands on that dude, because Marvin, he got too much heat on him as it is. And also in this episode, we saw once again the buildup of Snaps and Pop Henry. They're pissed off about what happened with Juliana, the investment, Ronnie, and by the end of the episode, they pretty much told Kanan that Rock is messing up everything. And, you know, we're going to have to do something about that. Ronnie was very, very upset. So in the season finale, we're going to see what Kanan does. We're going to see what decision he is going to make. Will it be family or will it be business? Well, we're going to find out soon enough. But let's begin the recap. Like I told you guys, I'm going to try my best to focus on all the key points. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. So what did we see in episode 9 titled Home to Roost? Now the episode starts out with your boy Lulu. He on one, y'all. He drinking. He crashing into cars. He at the liquor store. He ain't got no money. So of course, he decides to go ahead and just rob the dude. And oh boy, he pulled out his strap. He's like, look, you ain't about to get one on me. And he starts shooting at Lulu. But Lulu was able to get up out of there and he sped off. And we know Marvin, he was looking for his brother, which was very difficult to do in this episode. Now, we get to Clarence, aka Ty Dolla $ign. He's supposed to be Ronnie's right-hand man. They're waiting for Juliana. They're waiting for the next drop. But Juliana is late. Juliana, she's in the dirt. Ronnie understands that Juliana is never late and he wants to, you know, basically leave. Now, Clarence is like, man, it's only been 2 minutes. Let's stay. All of a sudden, Joaquin and the boys, they pull up. And Clarence is like, look, we can get it popping. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not about to go out like that. But I'm thinking like, yes, you is. Because they going to smoke you easy. You be in the dirt just like Juliana. And no one will give a damn about you. Now, Ronnie gets out and he's having a conversation with Joaquin. And of course, Joaquin tells him, operations is over. Business is over. Juliana, she's not here anymore. And, you know, whatever relationship that you have with her, it's pretty much over. The only reason that you ain't even dead right now is because of your investors, right? So we already know Ronnie, he's blaming everything on Rock. Joaquin tells him, look, this ain't about Rock. This is about me, right? So he pretty much checks him and puts him in his place. And we know Ronnie is very upset. He's pissed off. And now he has to go and have a conversation with Snaps and Pops because we know they were the investors. And of course, they had a business agreement. Now, it seems like business is going quite well for Rock and Marvin. We already know they had the whole deal that they set up with Quan, Chinese spots, and of course, they move and work. They got the special sauce going on, and of course, they don't have Juliana no more, so y'all know competition is not a problem. Now, Rock has a conversation with Jukebox, a very, bonding moment between the two. We know she brought that letter that the army sent to her spot. Now Rock understands that Jukebox is considering going to the military, but she is still, in her head about what she really wants to do. And Rock tells her, look, I just want to, support you. And basically, whatever you want to do, I'm down with it. You know what I'm saying? And of course, Marvin still does not know about this. But I mean, it is what it is. He's going to learn about it very, very soon. Hopefully in the next episode. But once Jukebox mentions Kanan, Rock tells her, don't worry about Kanan. This is about you. And she pretty much apologizes to Jukebox for always bringing up Kanan, basically making it seem like she just wants to use Jukebox for intel to, learn about what Kanan is doing, try to talk to him or whatever. So we've seen a very good moment between the two. Now, we get to Famous. He hears his song playing at the club. And of course, Shirley's in the back with a good friend. His name is Lowell Gilfin. And apparently he owns a few independent labels. And of course, he likes Famous's music. And he's like, look, man, we can make a deal. Let's do business together. He wants to meet up with Famous and of course, Lulu, who is out drunk. You can't even find him. But Famous is like, look, I've been talking to him. I will find him. And then we're going to set up a meeting. But shout out to Shirley, man. She's a good one. She's a real one. I mean, not only did she help Lulu with the whole club, she also looked out for Famous as well with this whole music thing. She's a keeper. Hopefully nothing bad happens to her. Now, we get to Ronnie and Snaps and Pop. And Ronnie's pissed off. He's like, man, you knew my supply was going to get cut off and you didn't tell me nothing. And I'm thinking like, dude, you better be glad they let you live, because they could have let Joaquin drop you straight off. You could have ended up just like Juliana. Now they upset because they're like, look, you still owe us money. Of course, he's putting the blame on Rock, talking about Rock screwed us over. They tell him like, no, Rock did not screw us over. Maybe she screwed you over and Rock didn't take money from us. You did. You know what I'm saying? And Snaps is like, look, the last thing that you want to mess with is our 401k. They ain't going. So Ronnie, he walks out all pissed off. We know Pops, she's talking about like, man, that man has some issues. And Snaps is like, yeah, two of them, me and you. So like I said, they're building up Snaps and Pops once again, letting us know like, yes, Ronnie is crazy as hell, but he can be put in his place by the right person. Joaquin definitely put him in his place. Kanan multiple times has checked him and put him in his place. And then we are seeing Snaps and Pops, they're putting him in his place. So we're going to see what's next for your boy Ronnie. Now, we get to Detective Burke's Pops. He is pissed off. He is telling the captain that he believes Detective Howard has something to do with his daughter and that everything is not what it seems. And we know the whole case got closed, but he tells the captain that Howard was the one that went to Nicole's dad. And we know that's how the problem started, right? But we know Jukebox, aka Laverne Thomas, she already stated how Burke had nothing to do with the drugs that Nicole had, right? So once he brought up Laverne Thomas, that's where the captain was like, oh man, so we had this information the whole time. It has to be a connection to Marvin Thomas. So this is when he brings in Agent Tanner, and y'all know he's investigating the whole thing with Marvin. And we know Burke's dad was like, man, so this could be mob tied. And Burke figured it all out. This is why she got taken out and she was set up. And it's some type of connection with Howard, Marvin, and of course the mob. It has to be connected. And now basically they got to bring in Howard. They got to see what intel they can get from him to see if he will, give them something or even confess to what's going on. Now Rock and Howard, they meet up and Rock is telling him that Lulu was out here wilding. You need to find him because he's a liability. He can screw all of this up. He can screw you over when it's all said and done. And look, we connected. We like family, right? We know Howard was kind of pissed off like, man, I would get the messed up family, but he doesn't really have a choice. He needs to basically find Lulu and neutralize him before it's too late. Now we get to Marvin and Gerald was talking about how he had a conversation with Jukebox on the phone, but she would not basically tell him anything. So he understands why they call her Jukebox, because you got to pay her to talk. Well, she ain't about to tell you nothing anyway. Now, Gerald said, look, he basically does not want to be a burden for Marvin. He understands that Marvin is looking out for him. I'm thinking like, man, Marvin, why you even talking to this guy in the first place after last week's episode? But Marvin, he's a good friend. He's like, look, man, I told you I'm here for you no matter what. And he wants him to come to Jukebox's performance at the mall. And Gerald was like, look, I'll be there. This will be the last piece to my story. But as that scene goes off, they show Gerald looking at his kids. So we already know what time it is. We know his story is not going to end well. Now we get to Ronnie and your boy Famous. Now Famous is looking for Lulu. So of course he goes to Kanan's spot, or should we say Famous's old spot, to ask about intel on where Lulu was at. But we know Ronnie is pissed off, talking about, you talk too much. He basically wants him to just leave to get the hell up out of there. Now, luckily, Kanan came out and told him, like, look, Jukebox is having a performance at the mall, and he's pretty sure that everybody's going to be there, including Lulu, right? And Kanan told him he's going to be there as well. So after he said that, Ronnie was upset, like, dude, really? So we ain't got no business no more, and you want to go to the mall? Kanan told him, like, look, man, you don't worry about what I'm out here doing. Plain and simple. So once again, we got Kanan, checking Ronnie, putting him in his place, telling him, look, I got this. Don't worry about it, right? So I told you guys, I believe this is once again a build up for Kanan to have to make that ultimate choice when it comes to his family. I mean, his mom's at least, and Ronnie. We know this is going to happen in the next episode. We already saw the trailer, and I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a crazy one, y'all. Do y'all believe it will be some type of plot twist with this whole thing? Because to be honest, it does seem predictable. It seems like Kanan would choose family before he's choosing Ronnie or business or whatever. But we're going to find out soon enough. Now, we get to the mall performance, and Nakia is finally giving the group their props, pretty much telling them, look, I'm proud of you. I want you guys to go out there and do it. Kill it out there. I mean, now it's time to make good on this investment. We've been putting in all this work, and y'all can do it. And that's exactly what they went out there and did, man. They killed it, y'all. They had a great performance, no issues at all on stage. And even after the performance, it seemed like Crystal and Jukebox was good. Crystal finally gave her props, pretty much telling her she killed it. And hopefully this can be, a good note for the group in the future. All I want to know is what the hell is going on with Aisha. I'm pretty sure, or at least hopefully, they address that, storyline in the season finale. Now, Detective Howard's boys, they end up finding Lulu drunk at the bar. He can't pay for nothing. I mean, he's not looking too good, but we know they're going to take him to Detective Howard. And we know Howard and Rock, they got to figure out what they want to do with him because he's a high risk liability. Now, we get to Kanan, Rock, and Uncle Marvin. Of course, everybody was at Jukebox's performance, and we know Rock was talking about throwing a celebration for her. And Kanan's like, look, man, he's not trying to be dealing with them at all. We know Marvin had to check him. We know Rock told him threatening that social worker was not a good deal because all she has to do is make one more call and he's going upstate. We know Kanan was talking about how he can make a phone call and they will put her in a very bad place. So it's like a back and forth thing. Like I told you, Marvin was not having it. He did not like the way Kanan was talking to Rock. Rock told him, operations is done. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing with Ronnie, it's over. That dude, of course, he's crazy as hell. He does not see things clearly. We know Kanan is telling her, well, look, I trust Ronnie more than you. And I heard you took out Unique and took over his operations or whatever. And we know who put that bug in his ear. That had to be Ronnie. Ronnie lied to Kanan, plain and simple. That's my prediction. And at the end of the day, Kanan, he gonna believe it because we know he's been lied to so much by Rock. He ain't about to believe anything she talking about. But after she told him operations is over, there's no more business, he told her, no, you don't tell me what's next. You know what I'm saying? I decide that. And I'm going to keep doing what I want to do, basically. Now, Marvin was like, really? So you going to let him just talk to you like that? And Rock had that look on her face like, okay, let him have that small little victory. Just know that business is not doing good at the end of the day. And she's probably still thinking how she's going to neutralize him when it's all said and done. Now, we know Jukebox and the girls, they was believing that, Agent Tanner and the boys was some type of music, producers. But no, they came there to talk to Jukebox because they want to know what's going on with her family, this whole drug operation. And this just pissed Jukebox off and ruined her day after having a very great performance. Now, we get to Howard and Lulu, and once Howard starts talking about Rock will be here or whatever, we know Lulu put two and two together. He's like, man, so I get it now. You were the person that was giving Rock intel. You was the person that said that Scrappy was a snitch, and we basically took him out on your word. So that means you was the one that took him out for real. And we know Howard, he is basically so upset at Lulu. He puts the strap to his head, talking about if you say anything else, I'll take you out. Lulu don't give a damn. He pressed his head up into the strap and said, you know what? You know what I'm saying? You might as well just do it, dude. Like, because I'm already dead. And Howard couldn't do anything. All he can do is just look there like, okay, this dude is really on one. But that's the truth. We already know this is the truth. And it seems like Howard's, past mistakes, they're coming back to hunt him, and it ain't looking too good. Now, we get to Marvin. He meets up with Gerald, and apparently Gerald's daughter, she has drowned or whatever, because we know Gerald, he was too busy getting smoked out, and it did not end well for her. So Alice ended up drowning, and we know they end up taking Amber away because of this dude. I mean, look at him. He's not in the right place. He can't take care of no damn kids, y'all. Now, he states that he's a bad dad, he's screwed up, and he's a bad friend. We know Marvin was telling him, look, you need to get some real serious help. And then we know Gerald ended up telling him the truth about law enforcement on how they caught him with drugs and how he pretty much had to make a deal in order to keep his daughters and give them intel on Marvin. But of course, he stated that he didn't get anything on Marvin at all. But Marvin was so upset, he wasn't having it. And he told him the truth, like, yeah, you're not a good dad. You not nothing or whatever. I mean, Marvin was very, very upset. Now, all Marvin had to do was tell him this, because all this did was make Gerald go and take himself out, which at the end of the day, at least Marvin did not have to physically do this because, as I told you guys earlier, he got too much on his plate. Now, Rock meets up with Howard, and she's pissed off because Marvin told her about the task force and how they had intel on him. And she's like, man, they've been having this for a while. Why didn't you tell me? And we know Howard finally confesses, and she's like, yeah, I knew about it, but somebody had to take the fall. And Marvin, he needs to be the person that takes the fall. And Rock is pissed off, like, really, dude? Like, you gonna play my brother like that? Like, are you crazy? And Howard was like, look, I'm protecting you, me, and Kanan. That's all that matters. Rock tells him, look, she ain't never gonna sell out family. And Howard is like, well, I guess we gonna do it your way. We gonna see if it works. But y'all know this whole thing, from the looks of it, y'all, ain't gonna end well for Detective Howard. You can tell that his story could be coming to an end. He talking about how Marvin should be taking the fall. Well, it looks like you's about to be the one that's about to take that fall in the season finale. We shall see. Now the boys, they go in and they find Gerald. Of course, he has taken himself out. His story did not end well, which we knew eventually was going to happen. And Agent Tanner, he ended up learning about this intel about Gerald, and he has to go. And he tells Jukebox that, look, we all try to escape, our messed up families or whatever. But even when you get away and it seems like you got like a clean slate, those scars, they still there. And they continue to get deeper and deeper and deeper. I mean, it's kind of crazy because we know how Jukebox's story ended with, her and Kanan. But hey, at least he kept it real. At the end of the day, we already know they had nothing on Jukebox, the family, because if they did, that means she won't be talking. People will be getting arrested, which is not the case. So that means Jukebox is good and she can get the hell up out of there. But she was very upset that she did end up getting, brought in. And as I told you guys earlier, it definitely ruined her night. And I want to know what's going to happen next with Jukebox, the group, and of course, what's going to happen with the whole military thing. Now we get back to Lulu, and he's begging and praying for Marvin to help him out because he feels like, Rock's going to take him out. Now we know Rock is having a conversation with Marvin, telling him how much did Gerald put out and that you can't do nothing to him. You can't do it at all because if you try to take him out, they're going to come looking for you. But of course, they don't know Gerald. He's already up out of here. So Marvin, he should be good. But he does end up putting Lulu in the back of the car. And then, of course, we know they're going to take a ride. Now we get to Detective Howard. he goes and he has the conversation with the captain. We know Agent Tanner is there. They're asking him about what happened with Detective Burke, the whole thing with Nicole's pops. Did he go there and did he have a conversation with Nicole's dad? And we know this is where Howard pretty much flips the script, lets them know like, yeah, I did go and have a conversation with them, and that's because of you. You the one that told me that the department did not want any bad press and that this whole thing with Burke, it needed to be buried. So of course he had that conversation with, Nicole's pops, told him to go to IAD and maybe they can figure it out, right? So he flips it in a very, very smart way, talking about the reason he didn't say anything because he's not no damn snitch, right? And he ended up finding out more intel on how Burke had things to do with Nicole. I mean, it's a lot of dirt going on. So he's making it seem like Burke is still dirty or whatever. And basically how he was just trying to bury everything for them. And he states that he has nothing to do with Marvin Thompson at all. Like, he ain't going for it. And he's like, look, what y'all getting at? Like, y'all think I'm in business with a drug dealer? And he pretty much just gave them that look. So Howard, he is trying his best to cover all of this up, but I'm pretty sure things will not play out the way he wants them to play out in the next episode. Now, Kanan, he goes and he meets up with Snaps and Pop. And of course, Ronnie is there. They're telling him like, look, Rock, she is messing up our investment. She's messing up our money. And we know Ronnie, he is talking about Rock. She needs to be handled. I mean, he was pissed off. Now, Kanan had the look on his face like, man, I know my mom's messing up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not liking what she's doing. But we also know at the end of the day, he loves his mom. And as I told you guys earlier, he will have to make that ultimate decision on what he wants to do. Now, at the end of the episode, which was very sad, your boy Lulu, he is crying. He's talking about, look, y'all don't love me no more. I'm y'all little brother. I mean, don't leave me out here, because he believes they're going to take him out. And that's exactly what it looks like, right? It looks real sad. And it seems like it could be the end for Lulu. And I'm thinking like, man, your boy Lulu did screw up. He went on this whole confessions tour. I kind of felt bad for him, but I understand in this business, you can't do what he's doing. But we know Marvin understands that, yes, sometimes you do mess up, but you can still fix things. We saw what Marvin was all about when he had that thing with Jukebox. We know Marvin, he was strung out on drugs or whatever back in the day, but he's come a long way, right? So when it's all said and done, I don't believe Rock really wants to take out Lulu. She's already told Detective Howard she would never sell out family. I believe they're going to take him to rehab. In my opinion, if you're going to take him out, just take him out. Don't be having us second guess on if he's alive or if he's, dead or whatever. We know the next episode, the episode 10 trailer, we know Marvin, he will be at a grave site. So of course, people are going to say, is that Lulu's grave site or whatever? I mean, it could be Gerald. I mean, Gerald did just get himself dropped off in this episode and he could be going there. Or it could be your girl, Miss Renee. But Lulu could be up out of here. But we know when we going off that TV logic, when they don't show a person being taken out completely, 9 times out of 10, that person most likely is still here. Well, we're going to see if anything's going to be different for your boy Lulu. I'm not going to lie, when they were driving out there, when I saw those woods and all that stuff, I'm looking like, man, they finally about to show you Nick's body, but they didn't show anything. So we're going to see what they're going to do with that as well. Hopefully we get more answers in episode 10, the season finale. But I want to thank you guys once again for all the love, all the support. I will catch you guys, of course, for the, what to expect for episode 10. And we're going to talk about all those different fan predictions and theories as well this upcoming week. So stay tuned for the videos. But let me get up on out of here, man. It's your boy Mark Dark. I'm out. Peace.